What's up, family? Welcome to the Ladder Podcast today. I have a treat for you today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, this is a podcast all about leadership, about how we can impact our world around us in ways that require excellence. So if you're joining us today, you are part of Crew Excellence, and I have a very special guest with me. A living legend is on the pod today, and I'm super excited for our conversation today. I know that it will be fruitful and it will be beneficial for you. If you tune in to learn something, you're going to learn it today. So without further ado, I want to introduce my mother,
Yay.
the illustrious Joycelyn Strickland Egan's.
And the crowd goes wild.
All right, Mama, tell the people 3 things about you. Just three real quick. Give me 3 things.
I am a lifelong learner.
Okay.
I love the color yellow.
We can see that.
Makes you happy. And I'm a Christian.
Hey, turn up. We love Jesus on the pod. We love Jesus on the pod. Shout out Jesus and them. All right. But we're going to jump right into it. My mom, she's very humble, but she is an education savant. She has been in part of education really her entire life, and helping teach young people and impact their lives in ways that most of us can only dream about. The 2 professions that really touch more people in a year than more people touch in their lives are coaches and teachers. And so mom's being a teacher, there are so many people that she sees out in public that will come up to her and be like, hey, I remember when you were my teacher in 74. And oh, my bad. But no, it's crazy to see that a lot of her students are in positions of leadership now and within education and other spheres, and really are community pillars, and they will trace a lot of their success back to being in her 4th or 5th grade class. So it's super dope. But so I want to talk to you about kind of your journey on becoming this mastermind in education, and the way you were able to kind of yield your powers to make the world a better place. When did you decide that, hey, I'm a teacher? Like, this is something that I am created to do?
I was in 3rd grade, and I had a teacher, who we will not name her name, that she...
Nah, man, she ain't got no technology. If you was in the 3rd grade, she don't know how to work no YouTube. You could say her name. Nah, it's all right. You can leave her name out. She might have some kids that can fight.
That's right. Really, I found out later she had issues. I won't even say what her issues were. But I was always a quick finisher for my work. I always finished fast and first, just like you did. And I had plenty of other time, so I took that other time to teach the other kids. So I said, oh, this is so fun. Like, I was running the class, and I was 9. And I really, really enjoyed it. Not that I knew what I was doing then, but I just mimicked what I saw, what she was supposed to do. And I did it. So that was when I decided that I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And that's I think that's kind of like what happens when your mom names you Joycelyn. It's like you were always an adult. And so even in 3rd grade, you were willing to walk into adult responsibilities because your name was Joycelyn.
Well, I know that all of my friends tell me, number one, and I'm talking about my classmates who knew me when I went to Manica. When they see me at even the 30th or 25th class reunion, they always say, number one, we knew you were going to be a teacher. No doubt. And number 2, they always say, we're amazed because you're the only person at 9 to say you wanted to do something and you did it. They said everybody else changed. You know, they're all successful, but they were just like, who knows that?
Yeah.
So it was destiny.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great follow-up question. How did you maintain kind of that path? Like, I got a nephew who's 9, and I think right now he wants to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're gonna make that happen. But how did you say I want to be a teacher at 9, and then go through middle school, high school, and college, and hold on to that dream?
And I held on to the dream, but I'm not saying I didn't deviate.
Yeah.
Because I had a passion for journalism, and I knew I wanted to write. I promised that's what I thought I was going to do. And, you know, God just said otherwise. I need you to teach. That's what I called you for. So, and the beauty of being in education is I found out I could do both.
Yeah.
But for a long time, being an educator and going to one of the top schools, Emporia State University, thank you, was the goal.
And so that segues into kind of my next question. So you go to Emporia State, which I think at that time was Kansas Teachers College, right? Or was it Emporia State?
It was Emporia State when I went, but it was the #1 college in the country.
Yeah, for teachers. Yeah,
yes.
And so you're in classrooms every day with people who want to go into education.
Yes.
Was everybody there wanted to be teachers, or was some people want to be principals, some people want to be vice principals? What was kind of that makeup?
Yeah, at Emporia State, a lot of the educators wanted to be. They put you in immediately in what you ask for. So if you ask for elementary, that's where you're going. So the cohorts that I was with were in for elementary. Now they all didn't make it because they had a very, very robust program. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had to dress the part. You had to learn how to write on the chalkboard. I mean, those little mundane things that some teachers' colleges don't have. Yeah. And then plus they had a state-of-the-art school on campus. Mm-hmm. So you were already working with teachers. So what it did was weed them out. Do you really want to be in education? Mm-hmm. So a lot of them didn't make it if they weren't serious about being an educator. Got you.
And a lot of people don't know, but like you went to Emporia on a track scholarship as well. What was it like for you to pick teaching over being an Olympian?
Oh yeah, because they were trying to go to the Olympics, and your girl was not. I was not going to the Olympics. No, and I did use track, which might be embarrassing for people who really. I was in the best shape in my life, so I love track, but I knew that wasn't my destiny. I'm not going to be running around the world. So, and they had practice twice a day, so really, I was about to be a quitter, but I didn't. But it wasn't the dream. Yeah. It wasn't what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but it was very, very beneficial to help me make it through college. Yeah, I needed that scholarship.
Yeah, and I always find that very interesting. I always say like, because I coach basketball on the collegiate level, and being around like women athletes and male athletes, women athletes are so much more ready for life after athletics. Like it is crazy because like I know male athletes who are 32 who say they got a year of eligibility left. And they gonna enter the NBA draft. I know one of my friends, one of his best friends, be out running routes at 33. It's like, bro, it's over. Like it's over.
Well, I like his passion, but
it's over. Well, and I know like women like you were at the peak of your athletic ability.
And I loved it.
Enjoy it, and then you be like, but I'm doing
done.
this.
Yeah, I'm done.
Because it's like I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to be FloJo.
Yes.
And so if I ain't gonna be FloJo, I might as well figure out what else is coming up.
Yeah.
And so that's so interesting to me.
I was a student first.
See, I was an athlete student. I was an athletic student. I was an athlete first. I was like, even in my mind, I'm like, y'all ain't got no master's team I could play on or something. Something to keep me involved, you know? Where do you, you're at Emporia State, you're learning how to be a teacher. One of the interesting things when I think about leadership, especially inside education, a lot of times when people think of leadership, they only think of like principals, vice principal, administration. Do you feel like in Emporia State, they taught you the responsibility of being a leader in the classroom?
I really do. Okay. I really do, especially because you had early opportunity to show yourself. And it just gave you more confidence when you have more opportunities. I feel like it was a natural ability for me to teach, so I enjoyed all the practices, but I know people would like sweat and have heart palpitations and be like, oh God, I better be up in front. Yeah. And a lot of them would say, I don't mind being in front of kids, but I don't like being in front of grown-ups with all the demonstration teaching and things that you had to do. So yeah, I think they prepared as well as teachers, those who wanted to be school counselors or principals or vice principals. I never, ever wanted to work as a principal or administrator because I always felt like that was too far from the classroom. But I did have a love of teachers, so I became an instructional coach because then I could train the teachers on how to improve their practice. But I do feel like they gave whatever route you wanted to take in education, you were focused, and they had the tools to get you ready.
Gotcha.
If you made it. The other thing that people weren't ready for was the assessments that you had to take. And people would have nightmares. They would tell me, "Oh, you're not gonna pass that test first time. You don't worry about it. If you have to take it," I know people that took it 14 times. It's kind of like taking the bar. You know, I'm serious. People walking around the campus.
It's not easy.
Yeah, they were taking basket weaving 101 just so they could take the test because you had to be enrolled in an accredited class to take it. So it was pressure there too. So you really had to want to do that. Yeah. But I do think they made you become leaders, not just for the classroom, but in life. Yeah. Because you had to take a lot of risk. You had to be prepared. I don't think you can be a great leader without being prepared in anything. There's a lot of preparation you have to do. Yeah.
No, that's dope. And so you graduate from Emporia and you go to Banneker, back to your home school. Yes. What was it like as a new teacher? How long do you think it was before you became a leader amongst the teachers?
Oh, I would say probably my third year. Okay. The first year I did get new teacher of the year. I did win that award just because I had a lot of natural ability. I remember that I wanted to do my student teacher there because that was just my dream job to go back to where I came from. Banneker was such a special place, and nobody wanted a student teacher. They were like, nope. And then when they found out that I was an alumni of Banneker, then they all start saying yes. And so I was student teaching with Donna Peters in second grade. Oh, she was the strictest. The kids hated her, but I loved her. She's still alive too.
Think of every TV show you've seen. The meanest teacher on that show, and that was Miss Peters.
It was.
She was mean.
My sister was in her class. She cried every day.
Miss Peters ain't play at all, man. I ain't even want to walk past her room. I don't even her class. I don't want to walk past her room.
So what happened when she found out, and she gave me a lot of tips, but you were supposed to student teach for the semester, and you would take one subject at a time. You would observe for the first 4 weeks, and then you would take one subject. They usually let you take spelling because, teachers own their class. Like, you're not teaching my reading, you're not teaching my math. But Mrs. Peters saw something in me that she left, and she started working in the office. And I was teaching her class for the rest of the year, literally. And she was not, that was really illegal because I wasn't certified, but that's what she did. So that made me feel good too, that she trusted me and believed in me and made me feel good about the profession that I chose.
Yeah. And do you think like awards like New Teacher of the Year and things like that, do you think those are encouraging to teachers like, hey, you're doing a great job, and it kind of separates them? How did you feel when you got that award?
I felt like that my work mattered, that what I did counted. So I do think in some ways, I really don't believe in what they're talking about, getting paid more if your test scores are more. I don't really believe that. But I do believe that any leader, any profession, if you say you did a good job, people need to hear that. People need to be appreciated verbally and visually, and that does motivate.
Oh, no, that's cool. And so you say your third year, you become a leader amongst the teachers. What does that look like? Because we're not talking about a different job title. No. But we're talking about like real leadership. And so what does that look like at Banneker as you've transitioned into this kind of go-to teacher?
Well, first of all, at Banneker, the teachers were stellar. So for you to get in the in circle was a bit much. They were not having it. If you were subpar, if you were, if you couldn't teach, they knew it. It was open concept. I should mention that. Open concept. Everybody could see you teach all the time. They can hear you teach. So you better have you better level up, period. Because if you didn't, they ignored you. They didn't talk to you. They didn't share resources, nothing. So by the third year, year when I felt like I was in the in crowd. And they did go off test scores. They did go off attendance.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you have a good classroom management, they will put all the children that were troublemakers or didn't want to come to school or parents were hard to deal with in your class.
Yeah.
And so once they saw that I could handle that, then I could get in the in crowd. I was still like the newbie because a lot of them had been there for years and weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's very different now, but they taught until they retired, period.
Yeah.
So because I got to be in that circle, it just grew me more. I learned a lot from them just by being around them. Yeah, by osmosis a lot of time. The conversations we had, and the resources we shared, and the just the same things the commonalities we had in our jobs.
No, that's cool.
So it wasn't an official title.
Yeah.
It was unofficial.
Yeah.
But from there, then I became grade level chair. And that was a big deal.
Gotcha.
That was a big title if you were grade level chair.
Yeah.
Because that meant that you were helping the other teachers. And so it wasn't your fourth grade class. It was our students in fourth grade. So then I became a leader that way. And I really enjoyed it because I became close to those teachers that I taught with. And I really felt like to get kids to where they needed to be, we need to work at a team. It wasn't always about test scores or grades for me then, but it was about growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think that's kind of what learning is, right? That's kind of what education is. At its core is progress.
Yes.
Right? What I heard you say, which I want to make sure you if you're watching it, you catch it, is there were people in your company at Banneker who wanted to pour into the next generation of teachers, but they weren't going to waste it. And so they felt people out. They made sure that you were not only wanting to grow, but that you were ready to grow.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. It's the truth.
Yeah, and
they did not bother with you.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people,
you were sorry.
Yeah, and I know for like a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Zers, we don't want to hear that. Like a lot of times, we want to show up and we want you to tell us everything you know. Like, hey, tell me everything you know, and we don't realize that people that are really, really good at something, they know when you're not taking it seriously.
That's true.
They can see when you don't have the grit, you don't have what's necessary to leverage the knowledge that they can give you, and they got other stuff to do.
That's right.
Like, just being honest, like, they got other stuff to do. And so I had a community member on here the other day, and Pops was on here, and that's one thing he said is like, hey, you got to make sure it's worth my time. Like, I got a lot of things pulling me in every direction. If you want to grow, I'm here for you. But you got to want to grow.
That's the truth.
And so I hear that you showed up to Banneker wanting to grow.
Yes.
And the people that were there to grow you saw that.
Yes.
And they brought you in, and then they gave you everything they had.
Yeah. And we have a lot of leaders in our family, and that's how we work toward excellence. That's why I'm in Crew Excellence.
Yeah.
Because everything we touch, we wanted to give 100%. We give our best, or why do it?
Yeah. No, that's dope. And then, so they come up with this new position, as you've been teaching for 2,100 years, and they come up with this new position, teacher leader, right? That was what it was called at first.
Yes.
Teacher leader. When you first heard of this position, were you interested? And talk to me about how you end up transitioning into that role.
Well, at first, I wasn't interested because I thought my calling was in the classroom. I did help teachers all the time, and that's what tipped the curve. I wanted you and Jabria to be out of school first because I did devote a lot of time to what you guys were interested in. But, anything when it's first done, first of all, KCK, shout out to KCKPS, was the first to implement teacher leaders in every school in the country, period. The first to use that model fully. And so they had some kinks to work out. And I kept thinking everything they're doing, I'm doing anyway.
Yeah.
I was doing at my school. If teachers needed something, they would come. If teachers were coming from other schools to watch me teach all the time,
Yeah.
a lot of them will say, "I think you don't remember me, but I came to your classroom." Blah blah blah. Yes, I remember because it was so many. But some of them went on to do great things, so I definitely remember them. But so not at first.
Yeah.
But then I wanted this job where you recruited teachers. The job was for recruiting teachers, but it also served as the leader for the mentoring program.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, that's the job I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Well, by the time I was interested, that job was gone.
Oh wow! Like they filled it, or when they took it away, took the position away.
They took the position away, and it was like melted into another position.
Got you.
With a whole bunch of paper pushing workers.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that at all. Never. It's so boring. So anyway, and other teachers have been talking to me about, why don't you just become a teacher leader?
Yeah.
Like I said, I was doing it anyway. Everything they were doing, I did all the time. I had a principal named Beverly Manlove, and when we started doing professional development in KCK on the regular, without having to go after school or without having to come before school or without having to and I did that. I should say that all the time. Anytime a conference was offered, I went.
Gotcha.
Anytime a leadership position came up, I was over literacy program. Anything that came up, I always took advantage of.
Yeah.
But Beverly Manlove, would choose her strong teachers in the building and have them teach back. So if she saw something that you did in your classroom, she would have you teach it for professional development.
Gotcha.
So I was doing that all of the time too.
Gotcha.
So when I first applied for teacher leader, I was really, really, really excited about the possibility of helping teachers become better, working closely with them. And I think that would spread my reach instead of just a classroom of, 25 to 30 kids. Now I can help more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's always, as a leader, like the next step in your leadership is when you go from addition to multiplication. And so like in your setting in a classroom, you were doing addition where you were getting plus 25 kids a year, or really every 2 years. If you travel in 4th and 5th grade, you get another 25.
Yes.
And so that is a great way to lead, a great way to impact the community, which I think you've seen. But if we can change that from 25 every 2 years to 225 every 2 years, or you know what I mean, like, and now we're talking about multiplication.
Yes,
because now you are teaching the teachers in a way that they can impact way more people than you could.
Definitely.
Which I think is always hard to kind of let go of the reins.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're doing addition, you got a lot more control.
That's right.
Than when you're doing multiplication.
Because I saw some crazy. Just let me do it. It's true.
I definitely can see that, because a lot of times I work with people and I'm like, I need you to do this, and if as soon as they ask me a question, I'm like, I could just do it.
I promise.
If you
I would have been through.
So I would have been through but teaching them to do it and how I want to do it has more benefits in the long run.
That's right.
Because now I can get my time back.
That's
and
right.
I can focus on some other things.
And I did appreciate the training I got as a teacher leader. It turned into instructional coach, but that was our goal, is when we walked away, the teacher had to be empowered. The teacher had to stand on his own 2 feet, and just mimic those things I knew worked in the classroom. Yeah.
And now that you're teaching teachers, it's almost like a light bulb went off, and you was like, oh yeah, I can write.
Oh yeah.
And you started
more time.
You started to work on becoming an author, which is also a dream you've had your whole life.
Yes.
How did you see the kind of the synergy in your lifelong dream of educating and being an educator, and then also this love of writing, this passion for writing? How did you see the synergy, and do you see how you were able to lead in both capacities?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I had written some curriculum. That's what I started out writing.
Okay.
I wrote curriculum and just, passing on a lesson I learned. I wrote curriculum. It was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good that they sold it nationwide, but I didn't get any of the money.
See, you needed me. You've been
I
needing a
did.
business coach for a long. We would have been
So
up
we
by
got
now.
burned. What happened was they paid us for our time, and that was in our contract.
And
so
then
we
they
got
took
paid
the
for our
rights.
time, and then they took the rights and sold the curriculum. So that kind of, spurs you a little more like with fire.
Yeah.
Oh, never again will that happen to me.
Come on now.
So I wrote my own. The first book I did with a publishing company out of Philadelphia, and that was my training. So I learned everything I could. Every conversation we had, every email we had, I kept so that I could learn everything I could from them, because I knew that wasn't going to be my the long haul. Yeah, just for that one, and then the rest I self-published. So I use a lot of the things that I used that I learned along the way in education to put together the book. So the book always teaches something and then has the main character apply it to their lives. And that's what learning is.
Yeah.
That's what it is, period.
Yeah.
Because if you learn it and you never apply it, then you didn't really learn
100%,
it. Yeah,
100%.
like the community member was saying, you wasted time.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that it has a learning aspect in the story. And then there are also activities, because I'm really good at writing curriculum. So there are always activities in the back of the book so that you can have open discussion with your parents. And that is part of grooming or growing leaders, when you're thought-provoking and sharing your thoughts. So that's important to me, the discussion piece.
Yeah.
And I think that ties all together with what I learned in education and then what I'm pouring into these books. This book series, A Sunday Kind of Joy. It's the goal. It really is to raise leaders, because if you don't apply what you learned, then your life is, and it doesn't mean you always get it right, because in the book she doesn't get it right either.
Yeah.
But at least she tries to apply. And it may not be to the same level of what you're learning, but at least you're on the path.
Yeah. No, and I think for me, I think you becoming an author was the logical next step in your leadership journey, just because when you're in the classroom, you're doing addition, right? When you move to being an instructional coach, you're doing multiplication. Now when you move into being an author, we're talking about exponents, because when you're in the classroom, you can only teach the kids that you can see. When you're becoming an instructional coach, you can only teach the teachers that you can touch. But when you write books, people that you've never met are able to be impacted by the gift that God has given you. And to me, that is the path of leaders. Like, I think sometimes leaders get stuck doing addition and they don't realize that they got to get out of the addition so other people can do it. Because doing addition is important, and it's where you learn, where you grow, where you get to get dirty, you get in the mud. But you got to move out of that so somebody else can get dirty.
That's right.
So somebody else can learn and grow. And so I've been impacted as like just being a front row seat to see you grow as a leader and impacting the community without any kind of drawbacks. Like, you are who you are and you show up that way in whatever capacity that God provides you. And so I want to close because I think that right now we're kind of in it's a crisis right now, right? Where people realize we need schools. People realize we need teachers.
Yes.
But it feels like it's kind of education's getting a bad rap. Like the PR guy not doing really good.
That's true.
And so we're at a deficit where people aren't going into education. I have a lot of leaders that watch the show that are looking for ways to change the world. And I don't know if there's a better, more consistent world changer than educators. Why do you think leaders should enter into the education space?
Oh, we need you. It's a great space to practice being a leader. And a lot of times you might fail forward, but there's so much opportunity to grow, to just hone your skills, because the best leader is teaching themselves all the time. So you teach yourself all the time before you get in front of anybody else to teach them anything. And I always say in education, sometimes people just think of preschool, elementary, middle school, high school. But there are so many other entities, colleges, community colleges. And then there are so many things you can do with an educational degree after you have that experience. It will push you forward. It gives you a lot of skills, besides confidence, besides what I talked about, always being prepared. That is a big part. Always knowing the end goal. What do you want to come out of this? Always knowing the growth. Okay. Like you said, the addition to multiplication to division, always keeping that in mind. Yeah. And then you reflect. Did I reach the goal or not? I think education is a stable job. I also think it's like what you said, giving back to the community. You can give back in a big, impactful way. Teachers, they always say touch their lives forever, and they do. And you'll do something that matters. Yeah. You'll feel good about the end of the day. Yeah. That you cheer somebody up, that you taught somebody how to read. I mean, come on, these are lifelong skills. Yeah. So it's a very rewarding and fulfilling job. And like you said, I could still write books and still go to work. So if you have another dream, that could also take place too. You don't have to hang up one dream to fulfill another one. And you get to go to, one thing I love about teaching is that no 2 days are ever alike. Never, ever. No matter how your planning goes, it's not going to be exactly like that road map. And so it's exciting in that way. Yeah.
No, that's dope. I think that's good. Yeah. And I co-sign everything she just said. We need leaders in education, especially leaders that look like us.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because Mary McLeod Bethune, one of my favorite people, had $1.50 and 5 students and started a school that's still standing today in Florida. Yeah. And that's just awesome. Missionaries opened a school, and she had 16 brothers and sisters. She went to the school and then came back with the knowledge and taught them. No, they didn't get to go.
Oh, yeah. She went and taught?
Her parents were sharecroppers, so she went and taught them what she learned at the school, and then she was able to open a school. So, I would love to live up to that kind of legacy.
Yeah, no, and I think that you have. I would love for you to, if you had one thing you would say to encourage. I got some teachers, some people out there who are teaching right now, and it's the summertime. A lot of times teaching in the summer start looking for other jobs. So if you could encourage them to stay in education, could you give them one word of encouragement?
Yes, I would say don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. There is always, we don't always get that thanks. That gratitude verbally or visually is always intrinsic. And so one of the things I would ask you to do is get a mentor. Please, please, please get a mentor that is doing well in the profession and lean on them so that we can keep you in education. We don't need this revolving door in education because our students need consistency. Yeah. And so if you would get a mentor that's doing well in the profession and seasoned preferably, I think that will give you the help that you need so that you won't quit.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I am honored.
I can help you.
Oh, come on now. Yeah. If you want to connect, I'll get you connected. Not too many of y'all, though, because she is retired. She don't know that, but I'll be trying to tell her. I appreciate you. I'm honored that I've been trying to get you on. You've been saying, when am I going to come on the pod? And so we got you on here, and you didn't disappoint. I hope that you all tuned in, watched the whole thing. If you love content like this, you're in the right place. Make sure that you like the video. It just helps. People don't understand, when you like a YouTube video, it helps YouTube say, hey, I should show this to other people. And so if you like this content and you think that it was beneficial, just please go ahead and like it, share it with somebody, and make sure you hit subscribe. We got videos coming all summer long that are all based on leadership with more crazy important people like the woman across from me. And so I just want to say thank you. I want to give you your flowers. You are not only impactful to me as a mother, but as an educator and as a leader. And I take a lot of what I do in leadership from your leadership and what I've seen you do. And so I do want to say thank you for who you are and what you have been doing and what you are going to do, because I'll have the front row seat and I'll be cheering you on the whole way. If you enjoyed the episode,
like, subscribe, share.
There you go. Hey, And until next time, I'm honored that you spent some time with me. You could be anywhere else on Beyonce's internet, but you hung out with us, and I'm so grateful. And until next time, I'll be hanging out with your grandma because I'm her favorite member, and I holla at you. Peace. Crew Excellence, another great episode. I'm so honored to be leading the journey you're on. And I just want to let you know, this is what we're building here. We're building a community and an audience and a family that pursues excellence together. And if you want to be part of that family, right, this content's free. You can keep coming over here every Friday, catching a podcast, but we have so much more. First of all, if you join Crew Excellence, you get the podcast on Thursday. Yup, 24 hours early. Second thing, you get part of our private group where we talk about leadership every single day. You get Motivation Monday. You get discounts on merch. Okay. And anytime we have an event, you get first dibs on tickets. So I think that being a part of this community is amazing. There's definitely different levels to it. But hey, if you just watching and you say that ain't for me yet, cool. I appreciate you. Keep watching. Like, comment, subscribe. But if you want to go deeper and you want to be more of a part of a community that loves each other and that pushes each other to be their best self, go ahead, head over to the website, join Crew Excellence. It's a membership site on the site. You can join it, and then you get entered right into the community, plugged in. Hey, it's dope over there. I'm talking about fire. You missing out. But hey, I love y'all for whatever you do and however you are a part of Crew Excellence. And I can't wait till next week. Please watch another video. If you missed the episode, tune in because they all fire. All right, man. It's the host who's the most, your favorite Crew Excellence member, and I'm out. Peace.